So stay with us as we find out where monsters came from, what use they serve, what makes them tick, and why we keep them around to loathe and to love. Frankenstein and the monster from hell. Frankenstein meets the space monster. Abbott and
In this entire world, there are only a handful of skilled artists and craftsmen who turn out monsters for the movies.
What we have here is nothing more or less than a monster factory. People come here to work in the morning at this industrial plant in North Hollywood. And what do all day? They make monsters. The chief monster maker here is a young man by the name of Rick Baker. Rick, where do all these creatures come from? Are these your nightmares come to life?
Not really. I don't really have nightmares. It's just my imagination, you know, a lot of daydreaming. And a lot of the stuff is based on real life people or animals or whatever, a combination of both.
But can you explain what some of the fellows are doing here?
Yeah, they're doing a little bit of everything. It's, to make a monster, you really have to be an inventor, scientist, dentist, everything. You know, we make eyes, teeth, skin, bones. It takes a lot, you know, and all these guys are all good at all that work, you know. We've got, like Doug over here, who's our main machinist. He's making some mechanical hands, actually for this character now that I was sculpting. And we're making a skeleton, basically, but it's out of metal, and we have tendons that we can manipulate and move the fingers just the way a human anatomy works, only in this case we're using aluminum because of the weight, you know. Bill here is making some mechanism to make the eyes blink on a mask, so it's, you know, we're not utilizing actors' eyes, we're utilizing artificial eyes, so to get that expression and life to it, he's making mechanical eyelids. We've got Tom over here modeling some feet for this same character I'm working on his face here. So Tom's an excellent sculptor. Whipped out these feet in just the time that I've been working on this face here talking to you. You know, and Sean's making some ugly monster over here of his own design, a little demonic character. Again, a lot of this is where the real art comes into the work.
You really do have to be sculptors.
Oh, excellent sculptors, because we have to pass this stuff off as being real. You know, I mean, we're not. If it were an art piece, we could leave it at a rough stage, but we really can't do that when we get down to putting all the pores in and all the different textures and everything like that. Very time-consuming, you know. Besides the actual sculpture in clay, sometimes we fabricate things directly out of polyurethane foam sheets and stuff like that, as Kevin's doing over here, fabricating a little test body for this character we're working on. You know, that eliminates the mold-making process and all. It's a lot faster, only a little more crude. Steve is making some teeth, some dentures for his two-face character that he designed here, pretty hideous mask. But, in this case, he has to make two sets of teeth, you know. Then my wife, Elaine, is our foam rubber technician. She runs all the foam latex and mixes the chemicals up for that, you know. And we have to, like I said, do all kinds of crazy stuff. And I think I have a terrific crew. I think these are the best guys around. And I'm real proud of them.
Many of Rick Baker's creations were used in one of the most unforgettable scenes in motion pictures, the cantina sequence in Star Wars. Not only does Rick Baker make monster costumes and masks, sometimes he is the monster, too. In the new version of King Kong, inside his own gorilla suit, was Baker himself. Baker's most recent film was An American Werewolf in London, where he again showed there can be art behind ugliness.
Rick, does it make any difference to you whether the head that you're making is for an actor to put on or whether it will operate without a man inside?
Oh, it makes a lot of difference in the design and everything else, but the main advantage to having an actor is that he acts, and he gives a lot of life to the mask. And normally wouldn't just have a mask for an actor. I mean, it would be a makeup, but and it's amazing here what eyes bring, what life an eye brings to a mask. You know, I mean, here you have a mask that looks like a mask, basically. It has no life to it. But if you put it on, and have eyes in it, and it really brings a different thing to it, you know.
Is it the eye itself that's either grotesque or beautiful, or is it what surrounds it that gives the character to the eye?
It's not just the eye as much as the lids and the area around it. I mean, you know, really open them up wide and put your head back, you get a whole different look than, you know, real squinty stuff. You know,
So it's not just that we're seeing your eyes, but we're also seeing your lids, so that you can blink him.
Whole area around the eye.
All right.
The mask I just had on was a latex mask. There's no expression other than just the area around the eyes. When we want more facial movement, we go to a foam latex mask like this, which is glued to the actor's face with additional makeup applied. So when the actor moves, like so,
It moves with the face.
Exactly. But there's limitations to that in that you really can't, say, bare your teeth, for example. So in a case like that, we go to a mask with a mechanism in it, like this gorilla head over here. Now this head works while the actor's face, from the actor's movements, but it works a mechanism that actually makes us snarl, see? Let me see if I can put this on quickly here.
You do that with your mouth?
With my jaw movements, actually. So that's a whole different type of thing. The material is the same, only now we have an understructure that's basically a skull that has teeth and you know. There's also a brow movement on this mask. Sometimes we'll have a mask that isn't a self-contained mechanism that's worked by someone off-camera, remote controlled, that does a lot more expressions than we can fit in a mask like this.
What is the fun of it? Is it the idea of ultimately scaring somebody?
I'm fascinated by makeup and by this stuff because it's really like creating a life. You know, it's in a way it's like being a god in that you're taking, you know, a piece of clay and you're making a face out of it, and then you're making that face move and be alive, and that's what really fascinates me. I don't know what everybody else's fascination with monsters are, but I think most people have even sort of a morbid curiosity about these things, you know. Monster movies, you can safely experience terror, you know, and know that you're not really going to get hurt by it.
Rick Baker, another master monster maker.